Alright, so I was having a little problem with the El Camino and it really didn't sound good. Was missing and making some racket, and so I tore it down and I've got it going back together right now. But the issue I found is I had two lobes that just wore slam off of the cam. And the lifters it wore the bottom slam out of them. And I attribute this to they had taken the zinc out of motor oil some years ago, and so that's what I think caused this. I've got a new cam already installed. For you guys that don't know, on a Chevelle, what a big block in it. And take all the front accessories off and the radiator out of it, and then you have to loosen this filler panel right here that goes between this panel right here that goes between the grill and the bumper, because the cam, when it comes out, it hits right here, right in here. You don't have to take it all the way out, just loosen it up and you can push it down and then you can wiggle the cam past it. So we got that done, got the new cam in, lubed up all the journals on the cam and all the bottoms of the lifters with assembly lube. This is Comp Cam's assembly lube that comes with the Comp Cam. So we got it all lubed up, and then we've got some zinc additive to add to the oil when we oil it back up. And from what I've read, they recommend adding this additive. It's like a pint, and it needs to be added every oil change. The zinc somehow coats the cams on these old flat tappet cam motors and prevents it prevents premature wear. So that's what we're going to do, and hopefully this will hold up. We've got all our rocker arms lubed up, the balls lubed up with assembly lube, and we're going to start our adjustment procedure. And what I've done is I've put some longer bolts in the harmonic balancer pulley bolt holes, and so I'll take a pry bar and rotate the motor over like that. It's not a good idea to try to turn the motor over by that bolt. You can, but if you over torque it, you can strip it out. So I found it's just easier to take a pry bar and jump across two of them bolts and just turn it over like that by hand. So we'll do that. We'll adjust all the valves and then finish buttoning this up. And I like to adjust the valves initially with the intake off. That way you can tell, because the valves have to be adjusted with the lifter on the base circle of the cam. So it can't be up at all. If it is, the adjustment won't be correct. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll go from there. So basically what I like to do is I like to take and rotate the push rod between my forefinger and my thumb, and tighten it down until you can't turn it anymore, and then go a half a turn more. That might be just a touch loose. I've read some it's 3/4, but I just like going a half a turn to keep it from being too tight. And then Comp recommends cranking it up, rev it up to between 2 and 2500 RPM, and let it run at that high RPM for 30 minutes to break the cam in. Back a long time ago, I used to take a flat tappet cam, slather it with STP oil treatment, soak the lifters, pull them out the soaking oil, wipe the bottom off, put STP oil treatment on the bottom of them, adjust them out, put the motor together, 2000 RPM for 20 minutes, and I never had a cam wear out. But because of the zinc being taken out the motor oil, I think that's where the issue's coming from. And so we're going to do all these recommended procedures and see if we can get this thing broke in with the zinc additive in the oil and make sure that this cam lasts. So y'all hang tight and I'll show you more as we go. But like I said, it's mainly just adjusting all these rockers and then putting the intake and the front drive back on, the radiator back in it, and crank it up. So we'll get it done, and hopefully we'll be all squared away. So alright, so we got all the lifters adjusted out, all the valves, whatever, adjusted out, and we're ready to go on with the intake. Put a little sealer around the water jacket here and put your gaskets on. I'm going to use these end gaskets because this block's got the pins in it, and I don't have a whole bunch of silicone, so that's what we're going to do this time. I usually don't use them, but I'm going to use them this time. And we'll get this thing ready to go. Alright, so that's how we do the intake. Just seal it around the water jackets and a little on the corners, and that's all it takes. So alright, so we got the intake back on and torqued down. I think we'll drop the distributor in next and then dress up the front of the motor. So we're getting it. Quite got it yet, but we're getting it. Alright, so we dropped the distributor in and hook our throttle cable up. Alright, got a clip on our throttle cable. Got our crank pulley on. So we're going to continue on putting stuff together. Alright, so got the water pump power steering back on. So get your alternator on. Be getting a lot closer. Alright, so got the alternator on. Got this top fuel line on that goes to the fuel pump. Got to hook the fuel supply line back up. Heater hoses. The alternator harness and the radiator valve covers. I think we're getting really close here. So we'll keep on plugging along and try to get it done.